Let me tell you a story because so many people are obsessed with the optimal way to work out, just like the perfect workout. Um, I want to tell you about the worst workout, maybe, that I ever had. So it started like it normally does. It was a pull day, right? So one of my favorite days. I took my pre workout. I was really excited. I was feeling, pretty strong. And then I'm driving to the gym, and as soon as I get to the gym, I start feeling nauseous, right? So it's kind of disappointing. Like, I had, all these plans to hit new PRs that day, and then I show up to the gym feeling like I want to vomit. It was one of the shittiest workouts of my entire life. I felt like shit the entire time. I remember making me physically throw up in the toilet, in the restroom, like sticking two fingers down my throat and forcing myself to throw up because I just couldn't stand the feeling of being nauseous. All of the weight felt way heavier. I felt like I had way lower energy after, I vomited. My rest time was all screwed up. You're supposed to have like 3 minutes of rest. And that's the balance of like regenerating adenosine triphosphate, ATP, your energy, while also maintaining the pump. And so it was probably like the worst, like the least optimal workout ever of all time. But I remember that workout because it was also one of my best. I hit 3 new PRs that day, I think, with really heavy weight that I had been working towards hitting for a while. I don't remember exactly, but about 3 like really heavy PRs that day. Even though it was like I felt like shit, low energy, and it was like the least optimal ever. And it was only because I made the choice to pick up heavier weight that day or do one more rep on my exercises like I do every single workout. So even when my sleep isn't optimal, even when my diet isn't optimal, like I haven't eaten enough during the day, when my energy is low, when I just feel like shit, even when the weight feels heavy and I don't feel like I'm doing it with like good enough form, like perfect form, I always try to progressive overload. I always try to make that choice of just picking up heavier dumbbells, setting the machine 5 pounds higher. Because honestly, that's the most important thing for progress, right? All of these science-based fitness influencers are kind of like obsessed with what's the perfect way to work out. Like, how do I do this set perfectly? What's way more important than how like optimized the set is just how you progress. Progress is greater than perfection. I have never had a perfect workout. Nobody has. No one's had like the optimal workout, the perfect workout. There's always at least one thing that goes wrong. Maybe you had just a bad night's sleep. Maybe you didn't eat enough during the day, right? Or maybe you ate like shit food. You ate like junk food. Maybe you just kind of, you're in a bad mood. You have low energy. You feel like shit, right? Maybe something is extra sore. Maybe you can't seem to get the reps to be like a perfect tempo. Your form kind of breaks down one day. It isn't perfect. There's always something that goes wrong. There is never like a perfect optimal workout. But it doesn't matter. Everyone talks about what's the perfect way to work out. What's way more important, what's infinitely more important is just how you progress. Because perfection doesn't lead to growth. Progress leads to growth. Progressive overloading leads to growth. Just picking up, pushing heavier weight, doing an extra rep, that is what leads to growth. How like optimal your workout is, like how perfect your form is, or the perfect number of reps or sets that you do for your goal. All of this, like, optimizing your sleep, optimizing whatever, like, it's not that important. People love to like debate on how many reps or sets is like perfect for hypertrophy. What matters way more is just deciding to like pick up heavier weight. If you want progress, if you want bigger muscles, that's the number one thing. Trying to get like the perfect form, like the perfect tempo, getting the perfect rep, figuring out exactly how many sets of how many reps are perfect for hypertrophy isn't going to lead to as much progress as if you just kind of approach it in a very stupid, simple way and just be like, okay, today I'm picking up heavier dumbbells. Today I'm going to do just one more rep. I'm not kidding when I say that is the number one driver of growth, is literally just training intensity, how hard you push yourself, being like, okay, I'm just going to go until I can't anymore. I'm just going to go until failure. And then next week, next workout, I'm going to up the weight by 5 pounds and then go until failure again. Like, that seems like such a very simple thing that anyone can do. It doesn't seem like complicated, and so it's kind of like unsexy, right? Like, it's not the grabby, like, oh, here's how to optimize for hypertrophy. Bro, that's literally the only thing that matters. If you follow decent form and then just make a commitment to progressive overload every single workout, that's it. You have the key. I'm really tired of these people like arguing online about what's the perfect way to work out. Oh, you follow this routine, like, oh, you have too many reps in your sets, or you have too few reps in your sets, or something like that, right? Like, oh, this rep range is optimal. Like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter that much. Train hard and try to get better, 1% better every single workout. All you have to do is improve one number every single workout. That could be one additional rep to an exercise. It could be 5 extra pounds of weight on the bar or the machine. Just improving by at least 1% every single workout is enough to achieve growth. Now, obviously, you want to keep good form, right? This isn't an excuse to have like shitty form, because shitty form, if you do heavier weight with like really sloppy form, that isn't growth. It might feel like growth, but that's just ego lifting. Like, keep the form decent. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? When you're progressive overloading, you're really challenging yourself. Form isn't going to be perfect, especially when you get close to that failure point. And that's okay. You don't have to have perfect form. What matters is keeping it controlled and following pretty decent form, right? Make sure nothing is majorly breaking down in your form. Other than that, it's not super important like how perfect your form is. Other people online will just like make fun of other people like for no reason. Like, they'll be lifting like really heavy weight and someone will be like, oh, well, their form isn't perfect, or look how fast like the negative was. Yeah, slow negatives are really useful for growth, but he's fucking like benching 4 plates, bro. Like, calm the hell down. You know, it's like, oh, that's not optimal form. So what I've been doing is, because I use a tracker that has the ability to like include notes with an exercise. So I don't know if it'll focus, you can see that okay. But anytime I do an exercise and I have something noteworthy, like I need to improve my form on an exercise, I can jot it down, and then next time I perform it, I know what to focus on. So if you're using like a paper journal or something like that, or if your workout tracker has that, I find it very useful. Wanting to get like the perfect workout in itself isn't a bad thing, but it's so easy to overthink lifting and focus way too much on getting the perfect workout, or getting the optimal program, or the optimal set, right? Optimal conditions for your workout, for growth, all this shit. Bro, what is the most important thing is just progressive overloading. It's unsexy. This is why people don't talk about it on YouTube, but it's super fucking simple and it's super fucking effective. All the muscles care about is you pushing them outside their comfort zone. This is why I'm such an advocate for going until failure. Even when some people say, oh, it's optimal to like, I don't know, like keep reps in reserve. Like, oh, 1 rep in reserve, 3 reps in reserve, all this shit. It's like, yeah, but you could also be just going until your muscles physically can't. Just pushing yourself until you absolutely cannot. And then you guarantee that you pushed your muscles outside of their comfort zone. Like, what better guarantee of hypertrophy, of growth, than if you just go until you physically can't anymore? Ignoring like the screaming in your brain, like your weak brain trying to tell you to put the weight down, put the weight down, put the weight down. If you just go until your muscles physically give out, like, how fucking metal is that? How fucking sick is that? Your body's gonna be like burnt, exhausted. You're gonna be like tired but satisfied. Like, that is really pushing yourself. And this is what all like these optimal like lifters don't get. It's like, you can lift optimally and then get good results, but you don't understand that the results don't really come from your optimal lifting. 90% of the gains really just come from you picking up heavier weight, right? Now, a lot of things let you do that, right? Slow eccentrics, more repetitions, let you break through plateaus. So it helps for sure, but the growth didn't come from you doing the exercise with optimal form or whatever. It came from you picking up heavier weight and then pushing your muscles outside their comfort zone. The optimal sleep didn't do that. The optimal like glycogen in your body didn't do that. The only thing that did that was you picking up heavier weight. That's what led to growth. It was just gritting your teeth, putting 5 extra pounds, 10 extra pounds in the bar when you didn't want to that day, and pushing the fucking weight. Even if you feel weak, even if you can't get a weight that you previously could. If you just do what you can and then go until failure, that's progress. That's really pushing yourself even when you feel weak. Progress over perfection. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Just do your best. Try to progress every single workout. Some actionable steps for this video are, number one, use a fitness tracker. I highly recommend this. You can use either an app on your phone or you can use like a paper journal. It doesn't really matter. As long as you know what your previous numbers were, and then try to improve by at least 5 pounds or one more repetition every single workout. I'm going to be honest with you, you're not going to get this a lot of the time, but what is most important is that you just try, right? It's so much easier to say, oh, I'm weak, so I'm not going to add more weight. That's easy. What's harder is being like, I feel weak, but I'm going to try anyways and see if I actually can't get it. Obviously, keep good form even when you progress. It doesn't have to be perfect form. Your form is naturally going to break down a little bit as you add more weight because your body isn't quite like used to it. It can't control it as well as the previous weight, the lower weight, but that's okay. Just make sure you're keeping it decently controlled, you're not going super fast, and keep the full range of motion, right? Lower range of motion is such a cheat, and you're better than that. Full range of motion for best growth. Don't cheat yourself. Keep decent form, but it's okay if your form breaks down a little bit, right? You're pushing yourself, so it's natural. That alone, even when all of the other factors are like not optimal, like, yeah, maybe your reps could be a bit slower, right? Maybe other aspects like your diet or your sleep could be better, right? Maybe you could be doing a more optimal exercise for your, XYZ muscle group. Doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. This is what most like scientific lifters, like optimal lifters fucking hate, is because they know that some idiot that just goes to the gym and likes pushing heavy weight and enjoys the feeling of like pushing himself and getting the pump gets hella progress. They get so much progress even when they don't follow like the perfect lifting principles. Don't do yourself a disservice and overthink about optimization, the perfect amount of sets or reps, the perfect form. Just focus on progress. Progress is also easier to control. It is so much easier to decide that you are going to set the machine 5 pounds higher. You're going to shoot for one more repetition. You're going to go until failure on a certain set than it is for you to be like, okay, I'm going to keep everything optimal. And if anything breaks down, I don't know, that's just it. Like I just can't get growth. Like trying to have the optimal workout, it's pretty much impossible because there's something that's going to be not perfect, not optimal. You can try to improve your form. You can try to improve how you work out, but in general, it's not going to be that effective. There's going to be some days where it's like you feel sick like I did, and then you have to make a decision. Are you going to try to progress anyways? Or are you going to be like, well, it's not optimal, so actually I'm going to go home and I'm going to sleep and rest because that's extra recovery. When you go to pick up heavier weight and you like try for the set, are you going to like just stop pushing the weight once you realize like, oh, my rep tempo isn't perfect. Like, oh my God, it's not the 2-3 rep tempo. It's not like if you don't do the reps slow enough, are you going to be like, oh, I can't go up in weight? No, that's stupid. Growth and progress matter the most. That's why it's literally described as pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, is because you're going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to do it well at first, but you'll get better at it. It's not going to be perfect. The perfect workout doesn't exist. Everyone's focused on like, what's the optimal way to work out? How can I increase my gains? How can I, what supplement can I take? If you try to apply all of the fitness knowledge on like what's the best way to work out, right? What's the optimal way to work out? You're just gonna get overwhelmed because there's so much information out there. A lot of it conflicts with each other. It's okay if your workout doesn't align with like whoever the most popular fitness scientific podcaster is at the time. Like if your routine doesn't align perfectly with like whoever's just like the leading authority on fitness at any particular moment, it doesn't matter. All that matters is focusing on growth, focusing on getting stronger over time, focusing on hypertrophy, right? Have you noticed how so many different fitness influencers train in different styles? Like there's some of them that do like strictly powerlifting, like 1 rep max or like very low reps. There's some of them that just like they just love having tons of reps in their sets, tons of volume in their workouts. Some of them only work out like 3 days a week. Some of them work out like 1 day a week, right? Upper, lower, push, pull, leg, whatever. But you'll notice like there are really strong, jacked examples of all of those people. And all of them will like preach this perfect routine, like, oh, this is the best routine. This is the perfect routine because it's the one that I followed and I'm huge. I'm jacked and aesthetic. But everyone else is saying the exact same thing, even when their routine is different. And that's the core of the whole thing, is the routine itself and how like optimal it is, what the perfect routine is, doesn't really matter. All that matters is finding a good routine for you that's like pretty decent. It kind of aligns with, the science of muscle growth. And then just pushing yourself hard and progressive overloading over time. And it's so simple that people hate to talk about it or address it because it's so much easier to talk about like, oh, what's perfect form? What does the science currently say about hypertrophy and like what's the optimal amount of rest time between exercises and what's the balance between strength and volume and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty simple. That's all I have to say on the topic. Just track your workouts and really try to progressive overload every single workout. And that'll probably seem kind of hard or difficult, but it's very easy to try every single workout. If you hit plateaus, that's okay. You'll eventually break through them, right? But you will only hold yourself back if you don't try to go up in weight or don't try to add more repetitions or volume. That's all. God bless. Goodbye.